Imagine this. It's Friday night. You're cruising down the road with your friends. The windows are down, the air is warm with a promise of a good time. You pull up to the familiar red and white stripped awning of TGI Fridays. The neon lights buzz with energy, and inside, there's a contagious feeling in the air. Bartenders tossing bottles, waiters zipping past, and the whole place feels alive. You know what? It wasn't just about the food. It was about the experience. For decades, TGI Fridays was more than just a restaurant. It was a cultural institution, a symbol of celebrating the weekend and a place to gather with friends, share laughs, and indulge in comfort food. But somehow, somewhere along the way, this giant of an American casual dining has stumbled. And now we're talking about bankruptcy. So what happened to this once iconic brand? How did TGI Fridays, synonymous with Friday nights out, end up being in financial trouble? Let's take a deep dive into the rise and fall of TGI Fridays, examining the factors that led to its bankruptcy and what might come next for the chain. Let's rewind the clock. Back in 1965, in the heart of Manhattan, a young entrepreneur named Alan Stillman had an idea that would change the landscape of dining forever. He opened the first TGI Fridays, and it wasn't just a restaurant. It was a singles bar designed for young professionals looking to mingle and have fun. This wasn't your typical bar. The decor was quirky, the atmosphere was lively, and the food? It was indulgent and comforting. People weren't just coming to grab a quick drink. They were staying for the experience. The menu wasn't just about food, it was about making memories. And that's when the magic happened. What started as a small, intimate venue for singles turned into a nationwide phenomenon. And by the 1970s, TGI Fridays expanded. By the 1980s, it was a full-blown chain. The Fridays experience was a full swing. Great food, drinks, music, the kind of environment that made it feel like you were at a place to be. You could always count on Fridays for a night out. The casual dining concept it pioneered, food, drinks, and fun in a relaxed yet lively setting, was new at the time, and people loved it. The 80s and 90s were the golden years for TGI Fridays. The brand became synonymous with happy hour, and its distinct red and white striped logo became a symbol of American casual dining. But let's be honest, what goes up must come down. And as the years rolled on, things started to change. First, the dining landscape shifted. Health trends began taking hold, and people started to become more health conscientious. Enter the rise of low-fat, low-calorie, and organic food. The salad became the new burger. And, well, let's face it, TGI Fridays' menu wasn't exactly a salad lover's dream. Sure, they had some lighter options, but people came for the indulgence, the fried mozzarella sticks, and the greasy burgers. And of course, the famous potato skins. As more and more people leaned towards healthier, lighting eating habits, Fridays started to look a little behind the times. Meanwhile, the rise of fast casual dining changed the game entirely. Restaurants like Chipotle, Panera, and even chains like Shake Shack were offering quick, customizable meals at a much faster pace. These fast casual spots were sleek, modern, and efficient. They provided a fresh, affordable, and importantly, quick dining experience that Fridays, with its sit-down, full-service approach, could never quite replicate. And don't forget the competition. Chains like Chili's and Applebee's started to gain more traction, offering a similar comfort food at more affordable prices with streamlined service. The market was getting crowded, and Fridays couldn't keep up. But let's talk about something a little less glamorous: money. Over the years, TGI Fridays went through several rounds of ownership changes, particularly through private equity firms. This isn't uncommon in a restaurant industry, especially for big chains. However, it meant that Fridays was often focused more on cutting costs than reinvesting in itself. It became a cycle of cutting corners, closing locations, and focusing on the bottom line without much thought for the bigger picture. Debt also played a significant role in Fridays' decline. The company was weighed down by high-interest loans and financial burdens from private equity firms, which left it little room to innovate or keep up with new trends. In short, Fridays couldn't afford to reinvent itself. Then came the pandemic. Oh, the pandemic. The world of dining, like everything else, was thrown into chaos. Restaurants closed, people stayed home, and the demand for sit-down dining took a nosedive. Chains like TGI Fridays, which relied heavily on in-person dining, were hit especially hard. Restaurants were forced to pivot. Some turned to delivery and takeout, some worked on building a strong digital presence, and others restructured the operations to be more flexible. But Fridays wasn't able to adapt as quickly as some of its competitors. As a result, its financial troubles only deepened, and its once thriving restaurants went dark. And so we come to the moment of truth, the bankruptcy filing. It wasn't a total surprise. With its mounting debt, outdated business model, and failure to innovate, Fridays was heading down this path for years. The bankruptcy filing itself was mostly a reflection on how much the brand had changed, and not for the better. At one point, TGI Fridays was the place to go for a night out, but the company's inability to stay relevant in a fast-changing dining landscape proved to be its undoing. In many ways, it was a cautionary tale of what happens when a business doesn't adapt quickly enough. It's not just about food or service, it's about understanding shifting consumer preferences, embracing new technologies, and creating experiences that resonate with new generations of diners. So, what does the future hold for TGI Fridays? Well, that depends. The chain has filed for bankruptcy, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's over. Many companies file for bankruptcy as a means to reorganize, restructure, and emerge stronger. TGI Fridays could use this as an opportunity to shed some of its debt, close underperforming locations, and reimagine its brand for a new era. But can it really make a comeback? That's the million-dollar question. Friday's brand is deeply nostalgic for many. It's a place where many people celebrated birthdays, had first dates, and made memories over pitchers of margaritas and endless potato skins. There's still a deep emotional connection to the brand. But whether that's enough to pull the chain out of its slump is another story. It's going to need to find new ways to stand out in a crowded market. Maybe embracing the fast casual trend, updating its menu to include more health-conscious options, or even adopting some modern technology to streamline its operations. Like we said before, at the end of the day, it's not just about the food or the drinks. It's about the experience. And if TGI Fridays can capture that magic again, it still could have a place in people's hearts and stomachs. Despite all the setbacks, we can't forget about the legacy that TGI Fridays left on the American dining scene. In many ways, it was a pioneer in casual dining. Fridays was one of the first to combine great food with lively atmosphere, turning a simple dinner out into a social event. Its influence on the casual dining sector can still be seen in restaurants today. It introduced the idea that dining could be fun, interactive, and exciting. The idea of happy hour as a cultural event, that's Fridays, folks. The idea of a full-service dining experience where you could hang out with friends, relax, and feel right at home, again, Fridays paved the way. As TGI Fridays moves forward, whether through the bankruptcy or through a transformation, its impact on American dining culture will be felt for some years to come. Sure, it might not be the same as it was back in its heyday, but memories it created for so many people are still alive. Now, we may not know what the future holds, but there's no doubt about one thing. TGI Fridays will always have a special place in the history of American dining. What are your guys' thoughts on TGI Fridays? Do you have great memories like other people, or is it just another chain restaurant to you? Let me know that in the comments below. And if you like videos like this, please leave a like and consider subscribing. And I'll see you guys in the next one.